It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the early reviews that they released for the first two episodes of the bonus episodes of Season 10. So Season 10 episode 17 and Season 10 episode 18. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we get into this, if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to join our community. Make sure to share and smash the like button, and also press the bell to be notified when we upload on the channel. Speaking of subscribing, this Friday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we're gonna have a giveaway live stream Q&A. So if you're interested to participate in our giveaway promotion, make sure to join us Friday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And in order to be able to participate, you need to be a subscriber and you need to have your subscription be public so that I can see that you are a subscriber. Now I'm going to explain the rules during the Friday night Q&A that we're going to have, but what are you going to win if you participate? Basically what you could end up winning is this right here. If you have FIFA 21 on PS4, you can actually win the FIFA 21 Ultimate Team code, and on the screen you can see some of the perks you can get with this promotion. So included in this bundle is one rare gold player pack and 3 icon loan items for 5 games. And like I mentioned, obviously you have to have a PS4 and you have to have a FIFA 21. This is not a giveaway of the actual digital game. It's just a giveaway for the Ultimate Team. So you have to have FIFA 21 first, or if you don't have it, you have to be able to get it to play it. So if you're interested to participate in this promotion and this giveaway, make sure to subscribe and make sure to have your subscription be public so that I can see that you are a subscriber. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say at the beginning of this video. So with that said, let's jump right into this Forbes article with a early review of the first two episodes of The Walking Dead Season 10 bonus bundle. So Season 10 episode 17 and 18. So the title reads, I have seen the next two episodes of The Walking Dead Season 10. This comes from Paul Tassi on Forbes. So I'm gonna read the article and give my thoughts as I go along. Well, The Walking Dead is about to return in just under a week for a set of 6 rather unusual episodes that serve as a new sort of ending for Season 10, ahead of the show's 11th and final expanded season before it just breaks into spin-offs. And I just wanted to mention something here real quick. It's absolutely accurate that season 11 is the final season, but as they mentioned, there's probably gonna be a handful of spin-offs that they're gonna create afterwards. We already know of one, which is the 4th spin-off with Carol and Daryl, but they might be doing even more after that. These 6 episodes were filmed during the awkward quarantine pandemic period, making use of those filming restrictions, and serve to fill in some gaps for past events. Mainly, I've seen the first 2 of these episodes. The first focused on Maggie, the second on Daryl, and can report back loose thoughts on what I've seen. I can't really go too much into them because of certain restrictions, so pardon me for being vague. So obviously, as anticipated, the first episode is really gonna focus heavily on Maggie because she was away for a long time. So now that she's back on full force, we're gonna need to not only learn where she was and what she was doing when she was gone, but also we need to be able to understand the motivations she had for coming back. I'm sure one of the biggest motivations was the whispers and their threat and the stuff that was told to her in the letters that she received, but there might be even more that they could uncover in terms of why she's really back. And obviously as part of that, they're definitely going to be able to do a lot with Maggie and Negan. We do have the anticipated Maggie-Negan face-off or encounter in this episode, and I'm sure that we're going to get more of those as the time goes. I think their interaction is probably going to be very minimal, not only in the very first episode, but probably in all of the bonus episodes. And we're probably going to see a more focused and detailed version of their encounter in Season 11. They could do it in the bonus bundle, but I have a feeling that they're going to tease it, but they're not going to give it to us just yet. And they're going to build up to something that's going to come to fruition in Season 11. So the setup or build up will happen in the bonus bundle, but the actual meat of the encounter or the resolution of their encounter will be in season 11. Or at least that's what I think. There's some things in this article that proves that, or not even prove, but that supports that claim, but that's obviously just my speculation. So they're going into each episode. First, they're starting with season 10, episode 17, called Home Sweet Home. And then here's what they had to say. So I thought we might be getting a full-on flashback episode for Maggie and where she's been, but this isn't in fact how this plays out. This episode does begin with an encounter between Maggie and Negan, which AMC has hyped up a bit, more than a bit actually, quite a lot. But it lasts 2 seconds, and it's clear there's going to be more to come. Obviously, that's the support that I was mentioning, so it seems like this is going to be a very disappointing encounter because unlike what many people are thinking we're going to get in this first episode, it's probably not going to be anywhere close to what people are thinking. So because of that, I have a feeling many fans will be disappointed afterwards, but we'll have to wait and see. Maggie talks later about how she told her son Herschel that the bad man who killed his dad got what he deserved. But now she's returned to find Negan a free man and acting like part of the family. And I think that's going to be the main reason why Maggie's going to even entertain the idea of going at Negan's throat. Because let's be honest, if Negan was still in his jail cell, I don't think Maggie would want to go back to meet him, if that makes sense. While this is not a flashback episode about Maggie and where she was, it does fill in those gaps all the same. We learned that she separated from Georgie and ended up finding a new community, but then they were raided by a new group called the Reapers and scattered. This goes back to what I said earlier about what is Maggie's true motivation for coming back. And as we kind of learn here, the main motivation for Maggie coming back is not the Whisper's threat or even the potential urge to want to settle things with Negan, but it's because she has to. She has nowhere else to be. So that's pretty interesting. But a couple very important and interesting things were mentioned here. One is that they were raided by a new group called the Reapers. So the Reapers could still be after them. And by them, I mean the surviving camp that Maggie was from and whoever was there. And the second thing that's important is that Georgie was separated from everyone. So Maggie at this point may not even know where Georgie is. So that's also interesting. Now, whether the Reapers are going to make a cameo or they're going to come to the story in the bonus bundle remains to be seen, but I think that might be exactly where they're going with it, just to basically have some sort of a new storyline that's exclusive to the TV version and something that's not in the comic book. And it would be great because then they don't have to get too deep into the Commonwealth storyline, which I'm assuming they want to save for season 11. Only a handful of people from Maggie's old community are left, including the guy in the iron mask. Elijah is his name. We do see who is under that mask this episode and learn a bit more about them. And I'll say it's certainly not what I was expecting from the character. And what I get from what he's saying here is that we assume that he's gonna be this kind of charismatic, kind of fun character, kind of like Princess or Negan, just because of the type of character they're playing. But maybe Elijah is a very quiet and level-headed guy, and maybe he's an introvert. The episode culminates into a frantic search of Herschel as Maggie returns to find her safe house burned down, meaning the Reapers have found them. So obviously this goes back to what I said about how much the Reapers are going to make a cameo in the bonus bundle and whether they're going to be the primary focus and the primary villains, I would say, of these bonus episodes. But obviously Herschel going missing was revealed, I would say, in one of the teasers that they released, because there was a dialogue of Maggie saying, "I need to find my son." So we knew that Herschel goes missing somehow. Now it would be very interesting to sneak Negan into that storyline and maybe have Negan be the one that maybe finds or even saves Herschel Jr. That would be very interesting if they go that route. I won't go into what happens at the very end of all this, but suffice to say, I'm very curious to learn more about the Reapers, and I wonder if they're going to be a villain group for at least this mini stretch of 6 episodes. This goes back to what I said, not gonna repeat it. if not a factor in season 11, although you would imagine the Commonwealth will take up most of the oxygen there. And I completely agree. I think if they are gonna bring the Reaper storyline into season 11, it's gonna be a little too much. And I think that it's gonna oversaturate the story just a little bit. All in all, I thought this was a pretty solid episode. Now moving on to season 10 episode 18 called Find Me. Now a little bit of background in terms of what I know about this episode. This episode is going to be an episode where Carol and Daryl are going to go on a scavenger hunt or a supply run, and they're going to find the cabin. Daryl is going to remember that he actually visited this cabin years before, at the time that Rick first disappeared and when Daryl left the group. And this is going to be explained to us through flashbacks. And then in flashbacks, Daryl is actually going to enter that exact same cabin. He's going to be confronted by a female character named Leah, and there could be some story with Leah and Daryl. I'm not going to go into that because we're getting into a little bit of rumor/spoiler territory, and I don't want to make this video a spoilery video, so I'm going to leave that out. So for this episode, they start saying, alright, now this one is a flashback episode, one where we see Daryl literally living in the woods for years after Rick supposedly blew up on the bridge. As Daryl tries to find him, or at least his corpse, I guess I hadn't realized that Daryl was separated from the group for so long, but it turns out he wasn't alone. This goes back to what I said earlier about Daryl and Leah, but I'm not gonna get into it. This is a quasi-origin story for Dog, who Daryl meets as a puppy. This was actually something that I speculated or predicted based on some of the more rumorish, spoilerish information that we received, but then over the years sees him grow. Turns out Dog belongs to a woman who lives in a nearby cabin, Leah, who initially distrusts Daryl but eventually is the only person he sees in the woods, besides Carol coming to visit. There's more to say about Leah, but I'll have to wait about that. And I'll have to wait to explain why I didn't exactly like this episode, as that gets into spoilery territory. And I have a feeling I know exactly why he didn't like this episode, but we'll have to wait and see. We did sort of get a glimpse at what a Daryl Carol spinoff would look like, which has been planned after the end of The Walking Dead itself. Clearly they have chemistry, always have, and I imagine that will be a good time. They're kind of at each other's throats for much of this particular episode, though with Daryl in particular throwing some brutal verbal jabs her way. So that's interesting. We know Daryl and Carol are gonna have a mini kind of verbal fight, so it seems like this is the episode where we're gonna see that. I'll have more to say about these episodes after they actually air, as there's a lot more to say, but that's all I can really discuss now. I'm certainly looking forward to the full batch, and it should tide us over until the show itself returns for a proper season. And that's pretty much it. I don't have much more to say about this review. It seems like the first episode is gonna be a very good episode, and one that gets us very excited for the rest of the bonus episodes and even season 11, but the second episode may be a little bit of a letdown in terms of the content and the meat of it. But obviously we're gonna have to wait and see before we judge the episodes. But that's pretty much everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to share and smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community, especially if you're interested to participate in our giveaway this Friday night. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you missed the beginning of this video, so go watch that. But last but not least, make sure to press the bell to be notified when we upload. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.